Hello everyone, this is the Balkan Guy, and today I'm here with the amazing ESC Gabe.
Well, hello guys, it's ESC Gabe here.
That was perfect, that was perfect.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be guest starring on one of my favorite Eurovision channels. So thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh my god, you're just too nice. But wait until we get into this video. The niceness is gonna go away. It will not last. That being said, we already filmed part 1 of this video. You have probably already seen it on Gabe's channel. We are talking about our Eurovision 2024 awards. Who do we think we did good? Who do we think did bad? There was a lot of tea that was spilled. What are some categories we talked about on your channel that were some good ones? I mean, there was the Gemini Award.
The Gemini Award for Worst Vocals, and we won't reveal our winners here because you've got to make sure you go and watch that video. But we did actually agree, which suggests that it wasn't just us that was hearing it, so we think you will probably agree too. I was also a big fan of the Jojo Siwa Award for Worst Dance Move, and guess what, we agreed on that as well. We also had a big argument about our favorite national final songs, so you're gonna want to make sure you check that video out if you haven't already.
It was missing a lot of taste from Gabe's side, but it's okay, we forgive him. There's probably gonna be a lot of missing taste in these categories that we're gonna be talking about on my channel too, so you better get ready. Shall we start us off with the first category? And that is Best Lyrics. That was a lot of dramatic pauses. You can start us off.
Best lyrics, my nominees. Number 1, Serbia, because I love the way that the lyrics put forward this message of hope and how it's this really bleak picture that's painted, but at the end there's this little moment of renewal that just completely changes the mood of the song. Secondly, the lyrics of the Netherlands, full of clever references, full of funny little mentions. I loved the little inference to Stromae, for example, super, super clever. Thirdly, Switzerland, telling that story through rap, through opera, while about somebody who's struggling with their identity and making it so easily understandable on the first listen. Really talented writing. But my favorite has to be the Netherlands. I just think it's so special. It has so much meaning in it, and it's so cleverly written that Joost Klein takes the crown for me.
We do have a lot of agreement here. I just feel like when it comes to the best lyrics, obviously right after this category, we're moving on to best message, just to separate that. But for the best lyrics one, that's like how they wrote it and the wording used to describe the things they're trying to describe. For me, the nominees, first of all, are gonna have to go to Serbia. Explaining the message of hope through the metaphor of the Ramonda flower. And it was just crafted so beautifully. Every single word is exactly where it needs to be. It's beautiful. My second nominee is gonna go to Croatia. I just think the lyrics are so funny, and it's like such an important message brought in such a cool way, from the lyrics of "Meow cat, please meow back" to all the other ones. There's just so much quality lyrical content in this song. It's incredible. And to shape off the song with the name Rim Tim Takidim, with all the amazing lyrics, and the name of the song is just random sounds, I think everything about it is just genius. And then the last nominee for the best lyrics, for me, is gonna go to Ireland. I just think the Irish lyrics were done so creatively, and it made such a huge impact. They did something for me, but my winner in this category has to be Croatia. There's no going back from my presence makes the black. And next up is the best message. And I can maybe start us off with this one. This is kind of similar to the best lyrics, but it's just like, we're not talking about the words that are used here, just what is the message, what are they representing here. Nominees for me are Netherlands, Europe, Papa, that's all I need to say. Next up is Switzerland, the code and just the message of breaking the binary code of gender. It's incredible and it's so meaningful. And the third one for the best message for me is gonna go to Spain. And I have to announce, Spain is my winner in this category. I am a full-on citizen of the Zora Nation. We are out here You can probably maybe see my Zora ears in the background. Y'all, the message of this song is incredible, done in such a clever way, and I love what they represented on the Eurovision stage.
Estoy en un buen momento, reconstruida por dentro.
So for me, my nominees, first up, the Netherlands. Again, you know, the importance of the message of unity across Europe, I think, is especially important now. And I think it becomes more poetic that Joost was removed from the contest while the biggest source of disunity in Eurovision was allowed to stay in. Number 2, we have Switzerland. That message of learning to accept yourself, accept your identity, I think is such an important one as well. Finally, number 3, Croatia. I think bringing that talking about that anxiety of having to move away from home for a better life is something I related to, and I think people all across Europe related to in different ways. Overall, I've gone for the Netherlands as my winner, for the one that resonated the most strongly for me.
I honestly resonate with all of them, even Croatia. Like, I come from a small village in Bosnia. He comes from a small village in Croatia. And like, I moved away. I've lived all over the world. So it really hit. It really did. But then I'm also a Zora, so what can I do? Our next category is going to be a bit spicy. We're going to be talking about who was the best looking in this year's Eurovision. Gabe, start us off.
So I'm thinking in terms of like the on-stage persona, right? My nominees, firstly, 2 of them are very simple. One of them not so much. Firstly, I want to say first 2, Lithuania and France. Now, it may shock you to know I'm straight, but I can look at these men and go, these are some very pretty men. I think they are extremely pretty and very nice to look at. Thirdly, I actually want to talk about Bambi from Ireland, because the way they've done the makeup and everything, you see them in like a bunch of different contexts in this performance, and they look incredible in every context. All of that black imagery surrounding them, they look amazing. And then it switches to like pink and blue in the choruses, and they still look amazing because of how well done the makeup is. So actually, I want to shout that out in this category, and I want to make that my winner of the category for that reason. So Ireland is my winner.
I'm going to start off my nominations with Norway. I think all of them are good looking. They're such a good looking bunch of people. But I mean, Gunhild, she's just gorgeous. She looks like a fairy to me. Like, she's so gorgeous. Next up for me is going to be Sweden. 2 of them were just so good looking, and they had the amazing outfits. They had the vibes. They really have the swag. And that's something I really appreciate when like judging looks of people, is like who brings like that swag. You know, you see them and you're like, yeah, they have it. Sweden has it. And my third nominee in the best looking category is Marina Salti and Greece. She looked adorable on the Eurovision stage. Absolutely adorable. She was just, oh my god, flirting with the camera the entire time while looking super cute. The outfit was ugly, but it somehow fit her. I don't even know how she pulled that off. And with that, she is also my winner in this category. The best looking this year in Eurovision, Marina Salti. She is just too adorable.
We're doing some genres now, and the next category for that reason is Best Ballad. So first up, we have France. I mean, what is there to say? This is, in terms of the straight down the line ballad, so beautifully executed, sung perfectly. Slimán's vocals are really out of this world. Secondly, I wanted to give another shout out to Teodora from Serbia. Really special song, like we discussed. Really gentle quality to her voice, which is really, really special. And thirdly, I wanted to go back to Yolanda from Portugal. One of my favorite songs of the year. So powerful, so pressing and urgent, which I really love in a ballad. That said, I have to give the win to France in this category, because I think in terms of the way they executed it, it is the purest of pure ballads. That bridge is going to be remembered for years to come as a standout Eurovision moment, and people really engaged with it. So congratulations, France, you're my winner.
100% agree with everything you said. We have the same exact nominations. All 3 of them are incredible. The only difference is here my winner. I gotta give it to Serbia just because the song is so special to me. I've said this multiple times, but whenever I listen to the song, for me, the world stops. France makes me feel many emotions. Portugal makes me feel the urgency and as you said, like it's just very powerful. But Serbia, the world stops. And that's just so special in such a different way from the others that I have to give it the win. Okay, we're gonna go a bit faster now, and we're moving into mid-tempo. Honestly, this is a very vague category. What we consider mid-tempo is probably very subjective, but my nominations in this category are gonna be Italy, because it does have some up-tempo moments, but also some slow moments, so I decided it's mid-tempo. It's just such a good song. Studio version, live version, I actually like the performance, I like the execution of it, so good. Next up, same as Italy, kind of mixed vibes, it's Georgia, because it has like those dancing moments, but also has the belting, ballady moments. Such a good song. Third on this list for best mid-tempo, for me, is Spain. This song just, I mean, I am in love with it. I'm in love with the concept, I'm in love with the song, the instrumental is so good. It has those like 90s dance vibes, but at the same time, it's not too in your face like some of the other dance songs. It's really like a chill dance song. That's why I put it in the mid-tempo. And the winner for me in this category is Zora Zora Zora!
Estoy en un buen momento, reconstruida por dentro.
I prefer not to speak. I will simply move on to my nominees. Firstly, Georgia. This is like pushing up tempo, I know, but it's for the kind of song it is, the tempo is quite low. Georgia, what a glow up. I mean, Nutsa, such an incredible performer, such a wonderful person as well. Lots of fire, lots of drama, and it really spoke to me, really enjoyed it. Italy, I think, such a classy song, such a well put together, well produced song. I really love the use of the brass instruments, as I mentioned in part one. And thirdly, I put Norway in here too. Very different to the others, but a really like ethereal experience that I thought was really special too. My winner here though has to be Italy. I think you have to recognize a song that is put together that wonderfully well and performed superbly by Angelina too. My only regret is that they didn't keep the staging like it was at Sanremo. She has enough stage charisma to fill it by herself. She did not need the help. The next category is the best upbeat/dance song.
Are you ready to dance, Gabe?
Yes.
Are we doing this?
There we go. Wait, now I'll do the bottom. This is the Balkan guy dance.
No, that's not the one. What is my dance move?
I don't know. What is your
Probably
signature
twerking.
about that? What is your signature?
Probably twerking, but we should not show that in the video.
Okay, yeah. I mean, again, demonetization. It'll get flagged for being 18 plus. The best upbeat/dance song, my nominees quickly. Firstly, we've got Greece. Marina made us all dance. I love this song. I love her. I love like the attitude that comes across on screen. It's so fun. Secondly, we have Lithuania. Mysterious, dark, totally different vibe to Greece. Also the one I'm about to talk about. Really nicely produced. Really, quite deep message if you look into the lyrics. Finally, Austria. It's straight down the line. It's FIFA 2001. Like, this is what you expect when you hear dance in Eurovision. But my winner has to be Lithuania because I just don't think anyone got to those heights in terms of dance perfection for me as Lithuania did.
We do have some agreements here. One of my nominees is also Austria. It's just a perfect dance song. Number 2 is Greece. She really made us all dance. Like, in that press room, people were jumping, people were doing the cultural dance, people were doing all kinds of different things. Some people thought they knew what they were doing, they did not know what they were doing. But it's okay, we all had fun, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. And it's one that might be different. I will put Sweden here. It is a really good dance song. It's cool. I would definitely love to listen to this on any club night. So why not? It really fulfills the dance song requirements. It's good, it's catchy, it has a good beat, and a strong ending. But not the strongest ending, because the strongest one is Austria!
I knew that was coming. I knew you were going to say Austria straight away.
It is the perfect dance song.
It is, but you know what it isn't? A rock/alternative song. So why don't you tell us about the next category, which is...
Best rock alternative song. Okay, my nominations here. And obviously everyone has different definitions of what rock and alternative is. We kind of tried to put some of the songs in here, so if you agree, you agree. If you don't, too bad. My nominations are Czechia, really good pop rockish song. Next up is gonna be San Marino. Oh, they just brought the best vibes, and the inclusion of the Spanish guitar with the typical rock sound, it was perfect. And then third nomination in this category for me is Ireland. This is more on the alternative side, but it does have those similar vibes, and it's just such an incredible song with an incredible performance. But in this category, considering that we are awarding like this genre, I have to give my props, and my winner is San Marino. They killed it. I just think this was such a good entry, and if any other country had sent this, it would have qualified.
I disagree, but there's a category later where I'm going to explain why I disagree. But now I'm just going to tell you my nominees, which was number 1, Ireland. This was so out the box, so subversive, so unique, rocky as well, and sort of drew on metal influences and all sorts. But it worked so well. Absolute genius. Secondly, a lot more down the line, a lot more conventional, but raucous and wild and so much fun is our boy Baby Lasagna from Croatia. We've talked already so much about how much we love this song. I can only say it again. What an amazing artist. What an amazing song. And finally, Norway. Bringing in that element, the shepherd's calling, which just elevated the entire product, was just so amazing to see. With that in mind, I gotta go with my heart rather than my head on this one, and that leads me to Croatia. I simply cannot see past them in this category because that song is really special to me. So it's Croatia.
Now see, some of us got the memo for this video and some of us clearly didn't, because what we were supposed to do in this genre categories is not nominate a same song in 2 categories. And Gabe here has nominated Norway in mid-tempo and in the best rock. And then obviously our next category is televote bait / joke.
Oh, but there's no clashes. There's no clashes in this one though. This one.
Croatia is televote bait.
Yeah,
Right.
No, okay, no. It's not televote bait.
It won the televote.
Yeah, it won the televote. Amar Pelush Deutsch won the televote. It doesn't mean it's televote bait.
It is televote bait.
There is no, Croatia did not send this to Eurovision thinking we're just trying to win the televote. Like, this song got 210 from the juries as well. You cannot be televote bait and also get 210 points from the juries. In my opinion, this category is like when things are so geared towards the televote because they know the juries are going to shun them. Like, Croatia was not that. It was never that. Even Cha 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 would only barely scrape into this category.
Put it down in the comments. What do you guys think? Is Croatia a televote bait entry? Because in my opinion it is. Moving on to the best televote bait / joke entry. Not all of these are jokes, some of them televote bait. My first nominee is Croatia, because this song is definitely televote bait in all the best ways. I most of the time agree more with the televote than I do with the juries. So, I mean that in a very positive way. My first nomination, incredible song. Number 2 on this list for me is gonna go... Number 2 on this list for me is gonna go to the Netherlands. This screams televote. Y'all, it's just so good, and it's just made for the audience. And my number 3 on this list is gonna be Finland. It's an incredible song and definitely televote bait, and the juries did not love this, which is okay. They still did decently well, and they made it to the final, and they represented their country really beautifully. But my winner in this category is gonna go to Croatia. It won the televote. It makes sense. If we're checking out the televote bait songs, who is the winner? It was Croatia. Gabe, what do you have to say?
Nothing to you, but plenty to the viewers. Firstly, my first nominee is Finland. It's just very silly, but it was always going to do terribly with the juries. We saw it in the national final already when they came last with the juries, but still won the whole show. And we saw that borne out as well. Think jokes like the penis gag it's just that's so clearly geared totally towards the televote. The Netherlands is my second nominee. I think again this was going to struggle for jury appeal, but this was the kind of entry where you send it and think we want to get 350 with the televote. That's what we're setting out to do. And had he been allowed to compete, I think there was a distinct possibility he could have done that. Thirdly, and this is also my winner in this category, Estonia. The Estonians even said they wanted to get 0 with the juries in the final, and they were gutted that it was ruined by the Austrians and the Italians, giving them 2 each. This song is a total, like, Trenolettel effect, party, total mad mess, which I adore. And I always knew it was going to be essentially televoters only, juries aren't going to be interested, and that's what happened. And I loved it. No notes, 10 out of 10. Estonia, please do the same thing again next year.
Next up is gonna be Best Ethnic. And it's like, obviously, some songs are fully ethnic, some introduce some ethnic elements. The question here is, who did it the best? Gabe, you can do it.
So I'll start off on a same country, much more serious point. Estonia, I think the use of the tal harpa, which is such a rare instrument, even in Estonia, was really well done. Secondly, Greece with those sort of elements from all different parts of Marina's background. So there was that sort of Middle Eastern element to it as well, which really added something. Finally, and my winner is Armenia. And I just think this one is totally all in 100% on this category. And it came together perfectly. It's so catchy. It shows a little bit of Armenian culture in a really wonderful way. And I really like the fact they used the Armenian language too. So 10 out of 10, great job, Armenia.
I like the things you talked about. I'm not surprised you nominated Estonia once again. How many has that now? Like, how many categories have we had so far? I think 20. This is the 28th category. Estonia has probably received 20 nominations so far from Gabe. What a surprise. But I will give like a special mention here to Armenia because it is a really good ethnic song. It doesn't get a nomination from me because some of the other songs that combine more the ethnic with more modern is something that is more my personal style and something I like to hear in Eurovision, where Armenia was just ethnic. But my nominations go to number 1, Italy. That drop in the chorus is so ethnic Italian in the most beautiful way, while still remaining very much a pop dancey song. Number 2 is Greece. The Balkan elements in it, oh, they get my Balkan heart on fire, and I just want to dance, and I just want to have a best time listening to the song. So good. And the third nominee in this category for me is gonna be Norway. And that's just because they brought the ethnic elements that are very different from a lot of what other countries bring. And this just sounds so Norwegian and so beautifully representing their culture. And I really wanted to give a shout out to that because I think when a lot of people think ethnic in Eurovision, they think Eastern Europe, but other countries have their own ethnic sounds, and Norway did that so beautifully this year. But my winner, Marina! It's Greece, of course. I'm the Balkan guy, what do you expect?
I'm not surprised by that result, but I'm very curious to see what you've put in the next category, which is most unique. Do you want to go first this time?
Yeah, I can go first. I thought who brought something that we have not heard in Eurovision before. Something that is decently new. And I'm gonna start off the nominations here with San Marino. And the reason why I nominated them is because I think this is the first time in Eurovision that we heard a mix of rock and an ethnic Spanish guitar. It mixed so perfectly for me. And just also their performance, the way they looked and what they did on the stage. Everything about it was very unique and something new for Eurovision. Number 2 for me is gonna be Estonia. Because I think this is like the first time from what I can remember that Estonia brought a ethnic/cultural song to Eurovision. So I gotta give them props there. It was decently unique, at least from what I can remember from Estonia. And number 3 for me in this category is gonna be Ireland. I mean, do I even have to talk about why this is unique? Everything about this song is just absolutely mental in the best way possible, and that is why in this category, Ireland is my winner.
I speak to destroy the feelings I have. I cannot avoid your twisted tongues. A hex deployed on you.
So I have 2 of the same nominees. Firstly, Ireland. Secondly,
who is it? Is it San Marino?
it's
Say it. Say it.
Estonia. And my third nominee is actually Norway. Some of the stuff I was saying before about the calls that were being used, it's a very unique take on folk metal that we haven't seen in the contest before. But my winner is Ireland. Like you said, everything about this performance was unique, but executed so perfectly.
What are we at now? 27 nominations for Estonia.
Yeah, something like that. It'll be more. There's more coming. I promise you, there'll be another one in there somewhere.
Well, next up is the best performance in this year's Eurovision. I can start us off with this one. Again, I will talk about Ireland because I feel like that performance really made the song what it is. Because I wasn't a huge fan of the song, but I was a huge fan of the song combined with that performance. But song by itself, I wasn't a huge fan. Number 2 is the UK. Very creative concept. It just looks so beautiful on camera. There were a lot of aspects of the performance where I was like, ooh, casual audiences are not gonna love this. And I was right. They did not love this one that we saw with the 0 points. But as a concept itself and as a staging, I thought it looked very, I don't know, the prop. I love props. So anytime someone brings a prop, I'm like, yes. And then the third nomination for me in this category is gonna be Switzerland. I think I really appreciate when someone does something new on the stage, like bring a new concept that we haven't seen before. We have seen similar things, but we haven't seen anything like the Switzerland performance. And it really, the song was already hella impressive, but the fact that Nemo sang all of that while doing all the things they did on the stage, crazy. But my winner, it has to go to Ireland.
Guess you'd rather have a star than the moon. I guess I always overestimate you.
So I have 2 of the same 3 nominees again, Switzerland and Ireland. So, your descriptions speak for me as well. I gotta say, number 3 is Croatia. And I want to really shout out the fact that, let's be honest, if we look back at that semi-final performance in Dora now, it's really not good. There's so much wrong with it. He's nervous. He's sort of within himself. He's almost it feels like he's almost hiding on stage. And then you see this rock star, this monster that has emerged since then. It is one of the most inspirational stories, I think, ever in Eurovision. By the time the final came around, that was stunning. It was incredible and vocally perfect. The way he took the room with him, it was like a star is born in this moment. With that said, I can't choose differently to you. I think I have to go for Ireland as well. It's so unique, so slick, so perfect, so worried over to every last minute detail. That is how you do it. And I think a lot of countries will be taking notes for next year.
I hope they do. I really hope they do. But from such a positive category, we move on to one that might be a little bit shady. And that is, who is the biggest flop of the year? Let's go, Gabe. Who are your nominees?
I'm really sad about my first nominee in this category, which is San Marino. I got really excited through rehearsals and they looked really, really good. Then the live performance fell short for me. And on the night, it was worse than any of their rehearsal performances. That was what has earned them this nomination. They really performed within themselves. Secondly is a song that was in the top 5 of the odds at some points during the season, Belgium. What happened? It was so poor live. The staging didn't really work. His vocal was good, but not perfect. It didn't come together at all. And another song, which the same is true for, is Albania. In my opinion, the revamp is the flop here. They ruined a brilliant song in Albanian and brought back a revamp that really never got off the ground. That said, my winner for being that high in the odds and falling that great distance, gotta be Belgium on this category.
I'm still playing the game.
I agree with you on a lot of things. Number 1 is Albania is also one of my nominees. But I disagree with you, and I did love Zemrendor more than I love Titan, but I also love Titan. And I thought Titan was going to make it to the final as well until I saw the performance. And then I was like, the heck? What is happening on the stage? Nothing makes sense. Nothing is matching the song. So I don't think it was the revamp that killed the century. I think it was fully the performance. Number 2 of my nominations is Belgium. Everything you said, I agree. Number 3 on this for my nominations is Moldova. And this one feels very personal because Moldova always does incredible with stagings. And every year they get, basically people think they're not gonna do well. And everyone's like, yeah, the song is not that strong. And then every year they bring the most amazing performance and do better than people expect them to do. And this year I was hoping that the same was gonna happen. I thought people were gonna underestimate Moldova, just like they do every year. Then she's gonna come and kill on the stage, and then she didn't. So for me, that felt like a personal flop. But the winner, I have to agree with you. How do you go from a potential winner to a non-qualifier? It's Belgium.
The way that you move.
Let's go ahead and move on to our next category, and that is most likely to succeed worldwide.
So this is a really interesting category to think about. And the first one, even though the Eurovision performance didn't go well, even though they got 0 with the televote, the UK, because Ollie Alexander has already done this once. He knows how to, he's produced hits before and he could well do it again. Therefore, he has to go in this category. Second, of course, our winner, Switzerland. You can't look past the effect that this will have on Nemo's career and the fact that they got such a big launch pad from this. Finally, the Netherlands. I think notoriety in many ways is more powerful than victory. For that reason, I am also naming the Netherlands my winner, because Joost Klein's popularity has increased more than anyone else's over the period of Eurovision. People love underdogs. People love it when someone is perceived to have been wronged. And for that reason, I think a lot of people have sort of united behind him. So I think he is the one who's most likely to succeed.
Okay, I actually feel that. I agree with some of the things. For my first nomination of Switzerland, obviously Eurovision winner. But besides being Eurovision winner, they are just such an incredible artist. And I just know they're going to produce some really, really good stuff after Eurovision. So I could see them doing really well in the charts with some of their future songs. Number 2 is, I'm going to say France. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Slimane was already pretty famous in France and in a lot of different countries. But now getting the Eurovision exposure, I feel like with the next singles, he might get a lot of fame. And I know a lot of people really, really loved his song. On TikTok, his performance is the most viewed performance out of everyone. He has a lot of potential to become, and people love French music. He wouldn't be the first French artist to make it worldwide. And the third one I want to talk about is Bambi Thug. They got that star quality. They really got that star quality. And if they use the momentum they have from Eurovision, I could see them becoming a huge worldwide star. Just because they really have that X factor, they have that something special. So I had to put them on this list. The reason why I didn't put Alexander is because he's already made it worldwide, so it didn't make sense. Joost could become really famous in Europe, but worldwide, I'm not sure. Just because of the style of music that he makes. But my winner here is gonna go to Nemo. I think Nemo can really use this hype around Eurovision and build a huge career.
Next category is Best Moment of the Year. So another slightly more open one. Arma, what are your thoughts?
Oh my god, I mean, there were so many incredible moments this year. And just, for me, this was my first Eurovision ever that I attended. And it's just like having to pick 3 moments was extremely hard because it's so personal. Like, what did I get most excited about? What made me be like, wow. My first nominee in the best moment of the year is gonna go to all of the XU countries qualifying on Tito's birthday. Now, if y'all don't know this, Tito is the ex-dictator / president of Yugoslavia, who was very well known and very well loved. And then all XU countries qualified on his birthday. It was so poetic and so beautiful. And if you've seen my reaction of all 3 of them getting announced as qualifiers, I was jumping, dancing. I think people needed to calm me down in the press room because it was not appropriate for how much I was cheering and being happy. Next up on my list of the best moments is being in a crowd as the entire crowd screamed, "Soy más dura todavía." It's just such a beautiful moment. And I know how much the Spanish were excited about this moment. And in Benidorm, this was crazy because everyone screamed out. But we all knew it was going to happen in Benidorm because it was the Spanish speakers. And everyone was super nervous. Is it going to happen in Eurovision? Is the audience going to understand the task and do it perfectly? And it was even louder in Eurovision. If you watch that performance, she does the little mic thing towards the audience and the audience screams it so loudly and so proudly. It's such an iconic line, and just being a part of that audience as it happened, beautiful. And third for me is gonna be the press conference after the second semifinal. And this might be because it was a little bit shady, and by a little bit shady, I mean it was a lot shady. But this moment is kind of captured by Dons talking about Latvia being shaped as a butterfly, and how butterflies are free, and how every country should be free. Marina Sati practically falling asleep while a certain country was talking. Also, Joost saying the iconic, "Why not?" as a certain country didn't want to answer a certain question. So that entire press conference was such a moment, and it was so iconic. It stayed so memorable for all of us being there and listening to it. But after all of this talk, my number one moment of this year's Eurovision, I think, Gabe, you can guess what it is.
It's always Zora. It's always Zora.
No,
So I'm gonna say it was Zora.
it's the XU countries. Come on.
I'm so used to you. See, you clown on me for Estonia. You've been dropping Spain every chance you get, so that's why I was like, oh, it's Zora. Oh, it's Zora. Zora this. Zora. So
it is in the top three, but my number one has to be the moment all of them qualified. I jumped so much.
Serbia, Slovenia, Croatia.
So some similar ones, all three different, but similar in some respects. First one, Latvia qualifying. The shock in the press center. I just remember the gasps and the yells, people being like, "Oh my God." Because they knew
it was the first one that was
everything.
announced.
Like, it just dropping that bombshell on everyone right at the start and totally throwing everything out the window. At that point, we're like, my God, who's out? You know, it felt like anything could happen. I personally was very worried for Estonia after that. And I spoke to the Estonians and they were worried as well, because they were like, oh, well, if Latvia's in, we're probably not. But obviously then they came through as well, and I was very happy about that. Second was a little bit existential for the contest, the moment at which Ukraine passed Israel on the scoreboard. And at that point, Israel was no longer able to win. I'm not going to go into depth here. Everyone knows how I feel about this issue, but it was very, very important that Israel didn't win this year, and I'm very, very glad it didn't happen. Finally, the Croatia-Switzerland split screen. This is my favorite moment of the year, because I looked up at these two songs. I already felt like I'd won, because I had two of my top three favorites there on the screen. And I just knew no matter what happened, I was going to be so happy, because they both deserved it so much. And they are such a deserving first and second place. So for me, that was the moment of the year.
And we now know that it is between these two, Croatia and Switzerland.
Absolutely. I agree with you there. Like, when we knew that one of those two were winning, it was such a calming feeling. Yeah, I really wanted Croatia to win, because it's just a Balkan, but it was so calming knowing it's going to be one of these two. It was such a peaceful moment.
For sure. The next category, I believe, is...
The worst moment of the year. I mean, we got to do the other side. We got to do it.
So many options.
You can start with this one.
I'll start with an obvious one, the Netherlands being disqualified. I think after everything that had happened, and again, I made a full video about this, about the double standards, about everyone immediately read that statement and read the language about zero tolerance and thought, where's the zero tolerance when it's people harassing us, when it's people harassing other artists? And I think the way in which the atmosphere turned from tense, because it was already very tense, to outright anarchy at that moment, I think it was a really horrible environment to be in. Secondly, and the moment that I think when the week that really ratcheted the tension up, I think probably more than anything else, because it was the moment that we all faced the reality that Israel could win, was the Italian televote leak on Thursday night. When that televote leak happened, everyone saw it and went, oh no. From that moment on, the anxiety was constant, because we know what it would have meant for the contest if they had won. And finally, on a related note, the fact that the EBU didn't upload Eric Sada, in fact, not just Eric Sada, Yolanda as well in the final. The fact that Palestinian cultural symbolism was removed from the broadcast. Having bent over backwards to allow one side of a story to be told, to then do everything you can to suppress the other side of that story, to suppress the Eric Sada making a personal statement about his own identity as a Palestinian man, to suppress people making the tiniest of gestures. There was a way around this if they either removed Israel from the contest, or gone, well, we're going to have to allow some small political gestures now in order to balance this out, in order to keep the peace. But they chose not to do that. And again, it comes back to what we were saying about double standards. With that double standards in mind, the Netherlands disqualification was the darkest moment for me, the worst moment of the year.
Okay, well, we do have a lot of agreement here. Netherlands disqualification, absolutely heartbreaking. Next up is Eric Sade's censorship. And the reason why this one felt so... Like, yeah, other artists got censored as well. But for Eric, he's Palestinian. He was just there representing his culture. That scarf is not a political statement. It's culture. Yeah, it can be interpreted as political statement, but what it is in itself, it is not a protest image. It is not a statement. It's a scarf. A scarf is a scarf, and it's a part of his culture, and he wasn't allowed to show his culture in the performance because it belongs to a culture that EBU disagrees with. That's such a low moment. Extremely, extremely low moment for the EBU, because next up, maybe next year, it's going to be my culture that's going to be banned because EBU just decided that they don't like it. And third one, this is like, it was also a happy moment, but it was also a sad moment. It was Croatia not winning. In the moment where I knew it was going to be Switzerland and Croatia, I was super happy because I was like, these would both be really deserving winner. I was at peace, but I still really wanted Croatia to win because I needed that Balkan win. I wanted it more than anything. The Croatians wanted it more than anything. Did you see how many people welcomed Marko, baby lasagna, back when he got second place? A huge square full of people was waiting for him. Even like during the final, there was a live showcase of Eurovision in the center of Zagreb. Thousands of people attended. The hype was never this high. I don't think potentially in any country about their entry. Maybe Finland last year, but I don't think it was like this. It felt like the entire country was backing baby lasagna. They all wanted it so bad because this was the one chance Croatia had. Croatia has been doing so bad that 1 year they had it, they were so close. So that was like a sad moment for me. But the worst moment, undeniable, Netherlands disqualification. It cannot get worse than that. It felt like someone's childhood dream was ripped away from them. Quite literally ripped away from them. So heartbreaking.
Aan het einde van de dag zijn we allemaal mensen. Mijn vader zei me ooit, het is een wereld zonder grenzen.
And we move on to a bit of a more positive category after talking about all of that sadness. And this category is the one that gets me in trouble all the time because apparently I'm not allowed to talk about it. And that is outfits in Eurovision. Who had the best outfit, Gabe?
So I have three options for this. Number one is the silly choice, which is Finland. Again, I thought the whole gag was really funny. I know it's immature, but the choices they made it really silly and really fun. And I think seeing it on the actual stage, people got it a bit more. And they got all the camera shots right in the final, which made it more effective. Secondly, Croatia, I thought the way it felt really authentic, really faithful to the history and tradition that he's emerging from, represented that in a really beautiful way, while also producing this rock star image. It was really, really clever. Finally, Ireland. Talked a bit about this before with Bambi's makeup, but the same goes for their outfit as well. Really, really added something to the performance. Every element of it, again, so well thought out and formed part of it, not to mention the fact that they had an outfit change to reveal the colours of the trans flag too. And that's where my winner is going as well. I think Ireland just really hit it out the park on this respect as well this year and stood head and shoulders above everyone else.
Down, down to my doomsday.
Lots of good choices, lots of good outfits this year. There were also quite a lot of bad ones, but it's okay. It has to happen. But my top three this year are Georgia. And the reason why I say Georgia, that orange color of her dress is one of the prettiest colors I have ever seen in my life. It literally, the dress looked like it was on fire and it matched the performance perfectly. So gorgeous. The dress itself, I mean, it was nice. It's not nothing crazy, but the color is what really, really made it. It was so beautiful. Next up is Armenia, and in my opinion, this is the best way a cultural outfit has ever been done in Eurovision. It was a really cute outfit that really fit her really, really well, and the rest of the people, but the main focus was on her. It fit her so well. It looked super cute. It looked modern, but it also had traditional elements. It was such a perfect fit of everything, and all of those outfits were highlighted equally. And then the third nominee in this category for me is Sweden. I want those outfits. They're so cool. I just want them for one night, for a night out, because they looked so awesome in them, and I feel like I would look really good in them. So maybe Gabe, next time we go out, we're gonna ask Marcus and Martinez to borrow their outfits. Which one do you want? Do you remember?
I'll be Martinez then.
Okay, I can take Marcus. But my winner in this category is going to Armenia, just like I said. It's such a perfect blend of everything.
I think it's a very fair choice, and we're going to move on to most robbed / underrated. And if you want to go first on this category.
Sure, I can go first. Regarding the final, I think the most robbed in the final was, guess who? Austria! This deserved higher. And let's be real, this got this low because of the camera issue. I don't understand why they didn't perform again. It literally, the best moment of the performance was not shown to people. This deserved higher than it got. I think even you can agree with that. Even with you being annoyed at me for hyping Austria so much, this did not deserve second to last.
I can definitely say it should. They got screwed by the camera shot. Yeah. Definitely got screwed by the camera shot, and it would be really interesting to see what difference there would have been if that hadn't broken. The explanation I read was that the battery will have died in the Steadicam. And I wonder whether that's not an easy thing to fix quickly. So maybe that would be why they didn't perform again. We should also remember sometimes if it's just a camera shot going wrong, they generally don't allow performing again. So curious.
Yeah, but it was literally a frozen moment for 5 seconds. And then a wide shot where you can't even see them. So it really did. It was horrible. Someone did like what Chanel's performance would have looked like if the same had happened. It was, crazy. So much less effective. Okay, next up for me is Czechia. This is a really good song that had an amazing performance. I would have loved to see this in the final. And it was so close to making it to the final. I would have hated to lose Norway, but I would have loved to see Czechia there. Third on my list is San Marino. I've said this before and during these videos, and I think if another country had done this, they would have made it to the final. Everything about this performance, the song, there were so many elements that made it so unique and so cool, and that is also my winner in this category. I think San Marino was the most robbed.
I have actually 3 completely different choices.
Okay, let's hear them.
Number 1, Estonia.
Oh, hell no.
And in fact, I'm going to take the first 2 together in this one, Estonia and Finland, because it's the same thing. I think they were robbed in the sense that because there were sort of essentially 7 or 8 songs that got points from every single country, a lot of songs that did deserve a lot more recognition from the televote didn't get it because they were essentially squeezed out. These 2, in my opinion, were big victims of this, deserved a lot more points from the televote. In a normal year, maybe they would have got more than they did. Thirdly, is Norway, which was robbed horribly by both jury and televote. I mean, the fact that this came last in the final is an embarrassment to everyone involved. How on earth is that the worst song out of those 26? I don't get it at all, but I take some comfort in the fact that Gorta kind of didn't need a Eurovision career boost because they have a really successful career in Norway anyway. They just deserved so much better. They are going to be my winner of this category as well. Utterly robbed. And the juries in particular should do some reflecting on this one.
Are you ready to spill all of the tea in the next category?
Yes.
You're excited about this one. Okay, next category is going to be the most overrated. And that is like, who scored higher than they were supposed to? This song did not deserve that score. You can go first.
I'm going to start with an obvious one in my opinion, and that is Israel. There is absolutely no universe in which that song should be scoring 320 plus from the televote. It was an average ballad that was accompanied by one of the biggest advertising and political voting campaigns that we've ever seen in Eurovision. It's just, you know, not a good song. This is the only analysis I'm going to do on Israel the entire season. And that is to say that this result was like sports doping and that it didn't deserve to be anywhere near that high. Moving on, Luxembourg, I thought it was a good song and it deserved to place in the final. I thought it was maybe a little high. I think maybe 15th, 17th would have been a bit fairer. I personally thought that Cyprus and Georgia were kind of the stronger songs that were competing with this. At the same time, we got to hand it to Luxembourg. We got to hand it to Tally because it was a solid performance, executed really well, came top 5. In fact, they only missed out on 4th in the semi-final by a narrow margin too. And you have to say that they really came and executed this well and maximized the potential. So while I do think it got a little bit more than I think it maybe should have, you have to recognize and congratulate them for the effort and for the success. Finally, and you're not going to like this, it didn't do well, but that was still better than it should have done. Spain. I'm really sorry, man.
Okay, you can leave
never
it
got
now.
it.
You can leave the video
I never
now.
got it. I never got it from day one. I still don't get it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I just think it's not good, okay?
Spanish fans, go after him. Go after him.
Maybe I'm still mad because it should have been Angie Fernandez. I don't understand this song. I don't understand what its appeal is at all from anyone. And so any results where this, where this has more than like 3 points is too many points, in my opinion. Sorry.
Come on, just for the message, they deserve like 50.
I will say the message was good. The message was good, but I didn't. Every year there's a few songs you just really don't get. This year, that was one of them for me. That said, in terms of the winner of this category, for me, it's Israel, for the reasons I said. This was blown to hugely excessive proportions above where it should have been in the scoreboard in any normal year.
Okay, most overrated. Germany, it should not have scored that high. Cyprus, it was good, but scoring the best out of the, well, I guess Luxembourg scored the best of the girl bobs, but at least Luxembourg had a bit of spice. Cyprus should not have scored higher than Georgia and Austria. And the third on my list is Latvia. I love Dons, I love that he qualified, but he should not have been that high in the final. Come on, this song did not deserve it. My winner here is Germany though. This being a 12th place is an embarrassment to Eurovision. It's way too damn basic and nothing about this stands out.
So what you're saying is it's nothing but the average.
Yeah, quite literally, nothing but the average, and it's topped off by his personality, which I probably should not comment. Nothing about this has things going for it other than the actual result. It makes no sense to me.
I'm always on the run,
Let's move on to something more positive, and the award for the best personality. My nominations in the best personality category are gonna go to number 1, Albania. If you met Bessa, you know she is a sweetheart. She's so cool. She will give you like at least 10 hugs while you're talking to her. She's just so precious and she's lovely. Next up is gonna be Spain. And the reason why I have Spain in this category is because when I'm that age, I wanna be that cool. I wanna be as cool as they are when I am their age. They're just so incredible. I was able to talk to them through a translator, and just through that short conversation, I was already like, y'all are the coolest people I've ever met. And third on this category is Lithuania. Kind of what I said for Bessa. If you met Sylvester, you know you had a ton of laughs, you know you got a lot of hugs, and you know how amazing of a person he is. He's just so incredible, brings the best vibes, and is so kind, incredibly kind, and very funny. So my winner in this category is Sylvester.
In terms of best personality, first nominee, Estonia. But I gotta say, these guys, when I met them in London, within 5 minutes, they'd invited me to their album launch in Tallinn. When I asked Kova, who's the member of Viisminis, who does, the who, yeah, that bit. When I sent him a message on Instagram saying, we've booked everything for Tallinn, can you send me some recommendations? He sent me like 30 messages of like recommendations, different places to go, different places to eat, different like bars to go to, stuff like this. And then when we were at the contest and I went to interview them, they were like, hey, well, we're just going to the pub. Do you want to just come to the pub? So we sat, we had a couple of drinks together in the pub. We did the interview like for 15 minutes. We sat and had a conversation for like 45 minutes to an hour. And the whole week, I saw them at Euroclub. I saw them a few other times in the pub and stuff. The whole week, so kind, so friendly, just genuinely such all 6 of them, just such nice guys. And I genuinely think everyone who met them had the same impression. But I'm going to talk about my other 2 nominees. Firstly, I'm going to talk about Dons, Latvia. Such a calming presence. I interviewed him in London, and it was just, he was so at ease and so like almost at one with the experience. He was sort of drifting through it in a very calm way. I think especially given the stress of this year, I think that really helps to have that kind of energy around. It was such a positive vibe. Finally, I want to talk about Nemo, who I also had a chance to speak to during the week, and such a kind person again. I've also spoke to them on their Discord server as well, where they've been so friendly. They spend so much time interacting with fans. They really love interacting with fans, and that's something that's really special. They clearly have this really tight bond with the people that follow their music, and that was a really wonderful thing to witness, and it's a wonderful thing to sort of be part of as well. But my winner overall for this category, I've been waffling for long enough, so I'm just going to say it, is Estonia.
Okay guys, well that is pretty much it for all the categories, but we do have one special one, and that is who was the most nominated for us. I guess this is our overall winner of this award ceremony that took way too damn long to film. The first part is on Gabe's channel. If you haven't already checked it out, go ahead and check it out. Second part is on my channel. Overall, when you consider both of the parts, Gabe, who wins it for you? Who is the most nominated artist?
You're going to be surprised. It's not Estonia. Switzerland actually got one more than Estonia from me. So the winner is Switzerland.
How did that happen?
So well deserved. I'm a bit shocked as to how it wasn't Estonia as well, but they ran them damn close. No, it was Switzerland first, Estonia and Netherlands just behind. How about you?
For me, it is a tie for first place, which so is something that would happen to me. And it is between Nebulosa, Spain, and Austria. Clean. They both got the equal amount of nominations. I'm very happy with these two, and in third place I think it was Serbia. I think this is a very beautiful top 3, and it is my Eurovision top 3.
It's almost like we're biased towards our own favorites.
Almost. I can already feel the comments being like, oh, you're so subjective. Yeah, that's the point of the video. Like,
why does your weird guest keep talking about Estonia?
I'm wondering the same thing. Like, trust me. Oh, but that is it when it comes to this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, you want to go ahead and click the subscribe button on my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, but you also want to go ahead and subscribe to Gabe's channel, who is incredible. He makes some of the best videos in the Eurovision community. Trust me, every time he has a new video out, I am seated, I am out there at the premiere every time I can make it, and I'm fanboying hard. Besides subscribing to us, we both also have all kinds of social media, from Twitter/X to TikTok to Instagram. You want to follow it all. I mean, I don't know about you. For me, Instagram is the hub of the gym selfies. So if people are into those, that is where you can find them for me. Where can they find your gym selfies, Gabe?
You will not find my gym selfies on any social media app for now.
Okay.
One day when I'm built like the Balkan guy, maybe that'll change. But for now, I look to you for inspo. Okay. So if you want the gym selfies, follow Mr. B Guy. If you want to engage with my content, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, it'll all be in the description. So you know what, just go through the list and follow everything for both of us. That's the best way to do it.
That is the best way to do it. I agree. And that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we're gonna see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.